Sports Extra. My name is Shegun Odwanyo. I have my co-driver with me. It's his first time here, but it's going to be an interesting episode all the same. Makwa Ubanagu. Makwa, good afternoon.
Good afternoon,
All right.
Shegun. It's a privilege to be here. I'm really happy, and I hope we can discuss one or two things that would, enlighten our audience today.
All right, interesting. As usual, we're going to be starting with the front page of Punch Sports Extra. And what best to start with than with what the Nigerian superstars did at the weekend in their various clubs. 130th goal for Rangers, Cyril Dessers banging in the goals. Also not forgetting our own Paul Onuachu getting a hat-trick. It's been fire for the Super Eagles players. It was fire for the Super Eagles players this weekend. Banging goals right, left, and center. Yes,
very true. For Onuachu, he really tried because I heard he ended a goal drought.
Drought, yeah.
It's good for him that he's back, and hopefully it can, open doors for more goals to come in.
Also, we had goals for Asisat Oshoala for Bay FC, Ademola Lookman for Atalanta, and of course, African Footballer of the Year, Victor Osimhen, getting a goal in their 2-2 draw with AS Roma. They should have won that game if you ask me, but at the end of the day, it was a 2-2 draw with Roma. Roma in form since they got De Rossi as their new manager. Goals galore, really, for Super Eagles players.
Osimhen's performance yesterday was top notch. I had to commend him, and of course the value he has as the African, best player is worth it. Based on that performance yesterday, I was really impressed, and he got rewarded with the goal.
All right, still talking about the front page. Pochettino was complaining about their last gap win that didn't happen because of VAR. Of course, I've noticed one thing about these managers. When VAR doesn't go your way, you suddenly become a complaint trumpet. But if it goes in your favor, you just begin to speak in favor of VAR. But that was obviously not a goal if you follow the rules. But somehow Chelsea would have, gotten all 3 points if that goal had gone in. But that is what VAR is there for, to spot errors and ensure that the referee has an added advantage of technology.
Yes, well, when I watched it, I watched the game, and, at that moment, as a Chelsea fan, of course, I was happy. I shouted, "Go!" But the main thing is, looking at the review and, pending the time that the goal was not given, when the VAR was reviewing the goal, in my mind, I was like, definitely, this is a push from the back. But, the sentiment there is that a lot of fans stay bringing out a lot of errors or situations that this thing has happened before. And, of course, they were saying, why would this one be disallowed and this one be accepted? And those were the sentiments there. But left for me, it wasn't a goal because of it was a clear foul on the player.
All right, new manager for Liverpool, and the slot is set to go have an opposite tactics opinion to that of Jurgen Klopp. We all know the way Klopp loves to play, but it looks like Slot is going to be having a different ball game. I know it's still too early, but how do you think Liverpool will pan out on that Slot next season? Are they going to be a flop? People say his name is already banter material, Slot. And how do you think they're going to pan out next season?
Definitely Liverpool's game style will change next season. I'm sure a lot of transfers will happen on that side. Salah is yet to be, his future is not yet clear, and a lot of players too would be coming in and going out. So it's left for the manager. I learned he's a good coach, so it's left for the manager to see if he can bring Liverpool to compete at the highest level, because Liverpool has currently is already on a high level, so we expect much from them.
All right, City powered the pressure once again on Arsenal yesterday with a 2-0 win over Nottingham Forest, with Chris Wood missing all the goals yesterday. It was like he was working against Arsenal, and he was working in favor of Manchester City yesterday. with the way he was missing opportunities and sending them into the grave.
It was a horrible one. I saw a banter post that Nottingham Forest were, you know, trying to get him investigated.
Yes.
I saw that this morning. I tried to verify. I thought it was real.
No, it
at
wasn't
first.
real.
I had to verify
It wasn't
but
real.
it was a banter. But regardless, City is City. You know, they are mounting this pressure on Arsenal. Personally, I would love Arsenal to just win the league. Of course, they've suffered. Let's just use that word. They've suffered. So, but you know what they're capable of, and how things can turn up in the next couple of days and weeks. Let's see what the title race brings about.
All right, that is all that we'll be having for the front page of our newspaper, Punch Sports Extra today. If you want to get further details, you can approach your vendor, get a copy, and enjoy your read. Very quickly, we move to the games from the weekend, and we'll be starting with the Bundesliga. He can't stop scoring, can he? Harry Kane, even though they can't win the league, in fact, they've lost the league, but Harry Kane is still on fire. Close to 40 goals already in the league alone this season. And of course, Bayern Munich got a win.
Yes, for Harry Kane, I think currently now he's eyeing to break Lewandowski's record.
Yeah.
And he's not far from it. And we know what Harry Kane is capable of. But, you know, this whole thing of him not getting a title, it is becoming like a jinx for him. I hope he's able, that these goals are not just goals. He needs trophies.
I think if he was getting trophies this season, he was definitely Ballon d'Or material.
Yes, well, it's not still far because, of course, they are still in the Champions League.
Yeah.
And that is it's a very good platform for them to get. I mean, for the manager, it's a very good platform for him to just get something out of his tenure as the coach of Bayern Munich.
As Leafs, they can't lose a game. They have obviously forgotten how to lose a game. I'm talking about no other team but Bayer Leverkusen. 1-0 it was, and before we could say Jack Robinson, it was 2-0, and then they got one back. And will they get a second goal? Will the jinx be broken? Will the record be destroyed? And they got, virtually with the last kick of the game, with the very last kick of the game, Bayer Leverkusen rescued a point against Stuttgart. They have forgotten how to lose, Makwa. They have.
It was shocking. I mean, Xavi Alonso had already, just...
We've tried our best.
We've tried. I mean, and they surprised him.
They did.
I mean, the spirit, the fighting spirit is there for that team. And I mean, if they can, replicate this in 2-3 seasons,
Can they?
That's what we don't know. If they can, it's going to be a very good thing for the club's image. And of course, very soon we'll start seeing them in the likes of the Champions League. Of course, they'll be in Champions League next season. Yeah. Let's see if they are actually
the Champions League is for big boys.
It is actually. Let's see if they are capable.
All right, so La Liga and Real Madrid did win, got all 3 points thanks to a goal from 19-year-old Arda Güler. The young man has been complaining to Carlo Ancelotti, I want to play, but obviously there's no way in that first 11 that is going to fit in at the moment. But hey, he can definitely be getting cameo appearances here and there every now and then. But all 3 points for Real Madrid. They've only lost one game in the La Liga this season. They are close to. They need 4 more points to clinch the La Liga. The second place team right now in La Liga is Girona, with Barcelona in third. Yeah. Do you think it's a done deal for Real Madrid?
I mean, the quality Real Madrid poses is top notch. They have top stars, Vinicius and Rodrigo, the likes. I mean, so for Real Madrid, they just have to be consistent. I mean, they are trying, and we see that in the Champions League, and we also see that in the league. So let's just see if the quality can match up with the demands of the league.
All right. Very quickly moving to the English Premier League, where, like we said earlier, Man City won yesterday. They were not convincing, were they? Against Nottingham Forest. I think they just managed to pull through. Got the first goal in the first half. Got the second goal in the second half. Yeah. Erling Haaland came off the bench to score his 21st goal of the season is the current highest goal scorer now. He was on the same goal number with Cole Palmer, ice cold Cole Palmer before, but now is a goal ahead. Is he going to win the highest goal scorer award? Is he going to retain it?
For players like Haaland, it's usually a no-brainer. You know, I mean, coming into the season, everyone would have expected, Haaland. And if we actually, to be very honest, Haaland's performance in the league this season has been, you know, very downside.
Below par.
But the quality is still there, because imagine having some months of injury, having off form, and you're still the highest goal scorer. I mean, these numbers in previous Premier Leagues, maybe 2-3 years ago, was like how the Premier League ended. I mean, but you know, for the quality he poses, it's below par for him. So I really think now that he has scored this goal, he's coming in more with confidence. And you know, we had the likes of De Bruyne, his super
his main man,
you know, back on form. So those things are very, very key to determine if he actually wins the Golden Boot at the end of the day. And you know, his top rivals, the likes of Isak, Cole Palmer, and Watkins,
Dominic Solanke.
Yes, these particular players are not you know, this kind of, they are not
red hot in form.
Yes, red hot in form. I mean, Watkins is, Isak is coming up, Cole Palmer too is doing great, but based on the quality Haaland poses, I mean, it's still looking like a no-brainer for him. But I'm open to Cole Palmer winning it this season.
Is City definitely winning the league? Is it sure at this point?
At this point, well, they have a game at hand, and if they win that game, they're going to top Arsenal. Arsenal currently will be hoping that
Spurs does them a favor.
And I mean, Spurs, on the other hand, they're not so much of a
spectacular team.
Exactly. So it's all about chances and luck right now. So they will need a team to at least give them a draw. Because when it comes to the goal numbers, I think Arsenal is ahead. So they will be looking for a team to just try and hold them off. However, Arsenal on the other end, they must win all their games. They must. If they don't, then they're not even serious.
They're dashing City the league. All right. Yesterday in the North London derby, it was a 5-goal affair. Goals galore. It was 3-0. I mean, Arsenal was virtually riding home until David Raya decided to do a very sweet giveaway.
Bonanza.
Yeah, bonanza, really. And then Spurs came into the game. And then there was a penalty. Step up, Heung-min Son to take it 3-2. And then everybody thought, oh my goodness, it was going to end in some form of madness. But it did not. 3 points, 3 goals for Mikel Arteta's team.
Yes, that was, well, at the first half, I already concluded that Arsenal is serious about this title just in this year. But, I mean, with the way the whole game turned out to be, the 3-2, it kind of asks us so many questions that at this side...
Are they serious enough?
Yes, are they serious enough? It's a very big question. Are they serious enough? And let's not forget, there were a lot of controversies with the first... the goal that was disallowed, there were controversies around that goal. And certain other decisions of the referee in the game, which can serve as a flip side to if Arsenal really held that game to the... to a convincing win. But that being said, I think if Arsenal can continue on this momentum of winning, they're a good side.
All right, interesting one there. Of course, we all know Chelsea didn't get all 3 points. What happened to Chelsea?
Chelsea. You know, anytime I want to watch Chelsea's game, I just have to buy paracetamol first. So that as I'm watching, I'm just drinking, because the team is just inconsistent. I think our major problem is inconsistency. And it's showing so much in the way we can win, we can go on a run, and
then just start drawing or start losing.
We don't get convincing plays. I mean, the game against Aston Villa yesterday, we dominated this game. We dominated the game. We had good chances, But when we see we concede goals that are,
On Saturday, you meant?
Yes, sorry. We concede, some goals that are not supposed to be. And this season, we've had a bad defensive run. Chelsea has been on a bad defensive run. I mean, the keeper has saved a lot of shots to, imagine a game that
concede.
He has to concede. Definitely, he has to concede. And the defense, we have Disasi, we have Badushile, and Thiago that just came back. I mean, Thiago now has announced
that he's leaving. We'll come to that.
So those kind of defensive errors are making the team, very inconsistent. And when it comes to attack, look at the game against Arsenal, no Cole Palmer, and there was no hope of scoring a goal.
Very terrible.
Very terrible, and there was no hope of scoring the goal. But this game that Cole Palmer was in, we still were able to score goals. However, we had to struggle, come back. And of course, the last-minute decision, VAR decision, also affected the team. We could have snatched the win.
But Chelsea didn't deserve to snatch a win, did they?
Well, the second half performance was actually good, if we are being honest.
That would have done so much injustice to Villa themselves.
Yes, they had a good first half, but they didn't have a good second half. Chelsea had a good second half, and they had the momentum. If you look at that last chance Cole Palmer missed, it was...
How did he miss that?
For his stand, I think all Chelsea fans, I speak for all Chelsea fans if I say we forgive him. Because, I mean, he's the one that's been trying for us this season, and it's just one of those things. If it was Jackson that did that thing,
he'll be crucified.
It would be a different story. I'm sure it would be a different story. It would be a different game, Twitter banter and all of those things. So, well, there's still hope. I don't know. There's just there.
All right. Very quickly, we move to Liverpool's game. I think it's safe to say there's no trophy. There's no English Premier League trophy for Liverpool this season. People have started analyzing Liverpool, wondering where they got it wrong. Was it the statement from Jurgen Klopp saying that he was going to leave Liverpool at the end of the season? Was that the beginning of the end of Liverpool under Klopp? What happened exactly? Then, what made the headlines the most about that game was the Klopp and Salah, clash. I mean, that was quite unusual. We all know Jurgen Klopp to be a fan of his players. We all know Salah to be like a calm guy, and that was really unexpected. Salah was having a go at his manager. It took the erratic Darwin Núñez to gradually stop him from going further than what he was doing. And Salah came out to say, I'm not speaking to the press. If I speak, there will be fire. And of course, Klopp was saying that they had settled it. What could have gone wrong? Is it because he didn't start that game?
Well, it has to just be. That's my own theory. It has to be for club selection for that game. I'm sure Salah was going into the game going into that match hoping that he'll be, of course, the spearhead of the team.
But he has not been scoring. He
has been off form, but I mean, every on form or not always wants that chance. Of course, it's when you play that you can score and show that you come back. So I think Klopp would have wanted him to rest, analyze the game, maybe come in with
but not bring him on rather in the 81st minute. What can he do with 9 minutes, for God's sake?
It's the manager's decision.
I agree.
It's the manager's decision. So he decides what happens. And, of course, we are not in their training. We are not in their, tactics, analysis, and all of those things they do. So I think, personally, I would have said Salah should have just left all of those things out and just, trash it in the dressing room where, to avoid the press and all of that, because Klopp he's leaving, but he has done a lot. Even in Salah's development,
practically made Salah what he is.
Yes. He could have, showed his anger in the dressing room and not bring it out. And he should know that Salah is. He's already on the, of course, he inspires a lot of people in his hometown, even in Africa, in Egypt. So I'll say that he could have just let that one slide, hold whatever feelings.
Should he be punished, Mo Salah?
It's up to the manager, but personally, I won't. They have their relationship, so they know how they will deal with themselves. You know, they know how they'll deal with themselves. Personally, I may not punish him, but a public apology from Salah would go a long way.
All right, it's the Champions League week. The semi-finals of the Champions League, for that matter, both games are going to be epic. Real Madrid against Bayern Munich tomorrow, and on Wednesday, Borussia Dortmund will be coming up against Paris Saint-Germain, PSG. By the way, PSG could have won the league this weekend if they had gotten a win. Guess what? They lost. All right, Bayern Munich versus Real Madrid.
It's the one everyone is waiting for.
Yeah,
we are all watching it.
Yeah,
definitely. If you know, subscription, DSTV subscription.
You go to your neighbor's house.
You go find somewhere to watch that match. Personally, I would say Real Madrid is the stronger side because Bayern has, this season they haven't really proven why they should be given this chance, this title. But one thing about Bayern currently is that they have momentum. They know that they've missed out on the league. So this is the saving grace. So if they can have this mentality going into this game, maybe they can bring out something good out of it. Real Madrid, on the other hand, they have a lot of experience when it comes to this stage, and they know how to deal with pressure. They may lose the first game, but just be assured that they are coming for war in the second game. And Ancelotti, him on his own side, he's very, very tactical when it comes to the Champions League. We've seen it
against City.
Yeah, against City. And I don't know how he finds a way to just
come back.
Just do it. I don't know.
Just do it like we know the brand.
We know them. So I'll say it's a good game, and I'll be really looking forward to it.
Paris Saint-Germain against Borussia Dortmund. Where is the pendulum swinging?
Well, PSG are looking like the side that really wants to go to this.
It's football, finals. Not a game of names.
True. But we have the big player, Mbappe, and if he can, of course, what will be on his mind is this can be his parting gift,
bye-bye,
to the PSG fans. I mean, there are a lot of controversies that surround him when it comes to PSG, his future, and now he has made it clear that he will be leaving at the end of the season. Yeah. And of course, not all PSG fans will take that good for him. But if he can, he has, but the whole drama that occurred, I think there was even a time that the Prime Minister of France had to step in, even to appeal. But that being said, this can be his gift, back to the PSG fans, and he will be really hoping. However, Dortmund cannot just be put aside because they showed a very good display against Atletico in the quarterfinals. So it will be a good game to watch, and I won't miss it too for anything.
All right, so what are you picking to go through at the end of the day?
Well, my sentiments at play, I'll go for Bayern to win, to qualify for the finals, and I'll go for PSG Bayern. PSG
Bayern final. All right, very quickly, let's talk about the Europa League. Bayern Leverkusen are also in the semi-finals. And what do you think? What do you see happening in the semi-finals of the UEFA Europa League?
Yes, Bayern Leverkusen, I think at this point they are the favorites.
People want,
and not just the favorites. They are also the team people would want to win. I think they are in treble chase.
Yeah,
they're on the treble chase.
They are.
So this is one chance to make a bold statement in the footballing world. Xavi Alonso can make a bold statement in the footballing world, and I'm rooting for them. I'm rooting for them indeed.
Thursday, Chelsea will be coming up against Tottenham Hotspur. It's virtually the battle of the guys who have done poorly this season. Well, probably you won't say Spurs have done poorly.
Yes.
But it's one game that could have decided the league in the past, but now it's just one of those games. What do you think will happen?
Yes, like you said, it's just one of those games. Chelsea, on one side, they need the win. If they are to even try to see if they can end the season at 6th position. And Tottenham too would not want to just give Chelsea an easy go. So personally, as a Chelsea fan, I go for my team, but like I said, I'll carry my paracetamol, you know,
like you always do.
like I always do, and expect a flip side.
All right. I think it's actually next week. The UEFA Europa League is not this week, alongside the Champions League. The Champions League is this week, but UEFA Europa League is not this week, just as the Conference League isn't this week. But I think, what's their name now? Aston Villa does have an edge in that. But, you know, it's football. You never know where it will crack. Very quickly now, would you think at this point, with the rate at which the players have gone and the season has gone, would you think is favorite for Ballon d'Or? There was this rating last week that came out and said Jude Bellingham was stopping, Vinicius was somewhere in their top 8 as well, Harry Kane was, I think, 3rd or 4th. But this season has been very funny. We've not had too many spectacular players with the headlines on their head. Most teams have shared the successes of their team on more than 2 to 3 players. But overall, where do we think the pendulum will be swinging?
I think I agree. I agree with you. You know, this season we don't really have, you know, unlike last season, of course, Haaland was in top form. But, you know, bringing it to this season, some of the names, big names that you've mentioned, I don't think, so Bellingham is back, he's there. He's one of those names that, of course, will surely show. We have the likes of Vinicius. Vinicius is doing great. He needs to crown his efforts with the Champions League, and if he can get the La Liga, you know, those two are good contenders. We cannot also displace De Bruyne because although he went close to 4 months,
he never really comes to the very top. Somehow he's hovering around the B plus. He never really gets to that A point, really.
Yes, so De Bruyne too cannot necessarily be put aside. Also names like Mbappe, you know, if he can go on to win the Champions League and, you know, secure the League One, he's also a very big, good contender. But let's see how the season would unfold.
All right. Let's also not forget that after the football season, the club football season, there's Europe. What's it called now? Euro 2024. Yes. And equally, South Americans will be going to battle. Africa had ours in the earlier part of the year. Overall, it seems to be interesting, but I think one of the major criteria for who will be player of the year will definitely be coming from the performance of the season so far. Makwa, it has been an interesting time with you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for being here with us. Hopefully, we'll have you on other occasions as well. Thank you very much out there to you, our viewer, for watching. It's been a fantastic edition of Punch Sports Extra. Join us same time next week, Monday, for another bumper package. Shegonda is my name. Have a fantastic week ahead.